Now, whether you guys are new to the Jeep community, you've owned a Wrangler, or this is your first Jeep Gladiator, this is definitely going to be a great starting point for you to watch this video, as we're going to go over some tips and tricks, some things that we've personally learned over the years, and some knowledge that we want to share with you as a first-time Gladiator owner. So while you are picking up a truck, this is not a full-size pickup. The Jeep Gladiator is a narrow-width, nimble off-road vehicle that just so happens to have a bed on the back. It's basically an extended Wrangler that gives you the availability to hold more storage and do truck stuff, but not do full-size truck stuff. I've got a great friend who picked one of these up and wanted to do big-time construction work with it, and it didn't hold up to what he wanted to do. Now, that's not to say they aren't capable, because when properly equipped, the Jeep Gladiator can tow upwards of 7,700 pounds, and the max payload in this bed right here is 1,725 pounds when also properly equipped. When I say it is not a truck to do truck stuff with, it's because the bed is a little bit smaller, as well as it doesn't have the full-size towing capabilities. This bed is 60 inches long by approximately 48 or 50 inches wide, and then online everywhere says it's 33 inches deep, but I can touch the bed at about this size on my arm. If I had to guess, it's about 20 or so inches deep on here. Now, what you can do with this thing is a lot of crazy cool off-road capabilities, and it does give you that towing capability to tow heavier than a Wrangler. But just remember, guys, if you're looking for a truck to do 1-ton and full-size truck stuff like carry a gooseneck or a big fifth wheel or car trailers or crazy things like that, this is not the truck for you to do so. And I'd imagine if you already bought a Gladiator, you might know that. But if you're searching for one, this is a little tip. If you want to do big time truck stuff, maybe go to a little bit bigger of a vehicle. Be mindful that you have one of the most capable and off-road versatile trucks that was ever created. The Jeep Gladiator is the only open-air truck on the market currently, and the top and doors are fully removable. It's pretty hard to be able to do that with a mid-size truck and still be able to tow, carry payload, and then also remove the entire roof and the doors. One thing to note if you're a new Gladiator owner is that you can not only use these things to do your driving around, your daily commuting, hauling the little ones in the back, and then also utilizing the bed, but these are absolutely fantastic for overlanding, for camping, and for those of you that are into action sports such as snowboarding, skiing, kayaking, where you're utilizing the bed and the rooftop area to hold more of those tools that let you go out and enjoy the wildlife. Now, what's also good about the Gladiator is that they are pretty decent at off-roading. They have solid front and rear axles. However, with the Gladiator, it is not going to be the best at rock crawling until you put some money and some lift kits and a couple other custom touches to them. The wheelbase is longer on the Jeep Gladiator, meaning that that rear wheel sticks out a little bit further, as well as the fact that the bed in the back does overhang past that rear axle pretty far. There's a lot of companies with solutions for those, and we will give you some options in the future when we go to build this out on what we're thinking with this Jeep. This is still a Jeep. I know it looks like a truck on here, but this from the back door forward is basically identical to a Jeep Wrangler. And some things to expect for those that are brand new to the Jeep community is that you will get waved at. Now, waving back and forth between Jeep Wrangler and Gladiator vehicles starts off at a kind of different versions of history depending on who you ask, but the most one that I agree with is the fact that during World War II, soldiers used to wave back and forth with a V. So they would actually put their two fingers up, and the V stood for victory. Now, after the war was over and these GIs were going home, they were picking up Jeeps, whether they be CJ2As or Willys MBs that were leftovers, and continued the tradition of waving to each other. Over the past 80 years, that tradition has lived on, and if you're in a Jeep Gladiator, you will be waved at, and it's pretty much expected that you give a wave back. It's a cool way of camaraderie and also uniting the Jeep community. It's just a simple gesture, and remember, you don't have to like somebody to give them a wave. Number 4 is that there are so many modifications available for the Jeep Gladiator, it is almost overwhelming. Production began on these in the year 2020, and prior to that, the Jeep Wrangler JL was produced starting in the year 2018. And you've got to understand, with the Gladiator, from basically the back of the rear door forward, it's pretty much the exact same as the Wrangler. The back seat's a little bit different, but everything up front, including the fenders, the hood, the bumpers, and all those other accessories, including the axles, wheels, and tires, are basically identical. If you're looking for the adult version of a Lego, buying a Jeep Wrangler or Gladiator is definitely the way to go. But the Gladiator takes it one step further and gives you the addition of bed-mounted accessories. Not only do you have all the off-road accessories, suspensions, axles, wheels, and tires that you can do on the front end, but then the bed gives you so much more modification ability. You've got bed-mounted racks, campers, tonneau covers, different entire bed replacements, and really the list goes on and on. The point I want to make with this is buying a brand new Gladiator, take it slow on the modifications and start off with a good build plan. Start using your Jeep for how you want. Maybe it's action sports, maybe it's long distance camping, maybe it's overlanding or even rock crawling. Get that plan down and then start modifying it as you see fit. And we will have some great content on this, on modifications that you can make in the beginning that make your driving experience better for less cash. But in the future, when you guys are looking to modify your Gladiator, take the opinions off of YouTube, take the opinions off of a few local shops if you're not doing it yourself, put everything together and make a good decision on what you're looking to do. I can't tell you how many people we've talked to that have spent way too much money on the wrong parts and then have to do it a second time to fix everything that they've done. Now, if you get more into the hobby, guys, if you get more into rock crawling, then you might have to build as you go and just keep going up in size. But for the most part, we're looking to help you guys save money and do some affordable mods in the beginning and then make that plan and go from there. The next one is going to be getting to know your Jeep Gladiator. Now, this applies for all new vehicle owners, but you ought to spend just an hour or two outside, walk around this thing both inside and out, and really get to know your vehicle. If you pop your hood and look into your engine bay, there are a lot of things that you can just take a look at and see where they're at. Look at where your air filter is, your battery, your fuse panel, where all your fluids go. If you get to know what a proper engine bay looks like, you will notice when something goes wrong if it doesn't look correctly when you pop this hood. Now, it goes a step further from that. When you start looking around your Jeep Gladiator, it helps to even crawl underneath the Jeep and just get familiar with what is going on the Gladiator. It helps to see what the headlights look like, what the axles look like. Take a look at all your bolts underneath. I would even say a step further, I've seen new Jeeps that have had problems with even torqued bolts. Take a paint marker, paint them on there, and make sure that those bolts aren't moving if you're doing long treks. Get to know where your spare tire is, because that is actually mounted up underneath the bed, and inside the Jeep is the way to remove it. You've actually got to put a prop rod through the back bumper, twist that around, and it will lower your spare tire down. If there are things that you can learn as a first-time Gladiator owner that would prevent you from being stranded or stuck on the side of the road, it really helps just to take a closer look at your vehicle and get familiar with it. It's one thing I really like doing is even reading the manual of the Jeep Gladiator. They give you literature, and there is a ton of informative YouTube videos on how to go through and see what is going on with this. Heck, there's even things that I've found on the infotainment system that I had never seen before just by spending 10 minutes of my spare time by going through it. So as you're out on lunch break, or maybe you got some time when it's raining outside, sit inside your vehicle, get to know it a lot better, and you will enjoy it much, much more. It also helps too, because when you want to swap the air filter, change the oil, swap the cabin filter, you have the experience of knowing what is going on with your Jeep, and you won't get taken for a bath when you go to the dealership to fix those problems. And then the second thing that I would say is, if you're walking around or you're at a parking lot or at a Jeep show, be expected to see a small rubber plastic duck on your fender, on your door handles, basically anywhere that they can place them, so it might not be a bad idea to do a circle around. Ducking has become a huge part of the Jeep community, and the last time we did this video, it was still growing. However, this has now become mainstream. Every show we go to, every Jeep meet, ducks are everywhere. Whether they be on the Jeep, or they be giant inflatables, people wearing outfits, it has become a mainstream staple of the Jeep community. And whether or not you agree with it, whether or not you like it, it is still a cool way to kind of get closer and connect with the community. And if you hate the ducks and you get one on your door, just pass it on to another Jeeper, or I've got little ones at home, give it to them, give it to your nieces and nephews, whoever you've got. I think it's really cool that someone took the time and says that they like your Jeep. The last thing we'd like to talk about in this video is that if you are a first-time Jeep owner and a first-time Jeep Gladiator owner, is that us at Dirt Road CRED would like to welcome you to the Jeep community. And not only that, I'm sure that most members of the Jeep community will also welcome you with big open arms. The Jeep community is a very special one, and it has been near and dear to my heart since as long as I could hold a wrench and work on my dad's CJ7. These vehicles are not only just a commuter car to get you to and from work, but they are a lifestyle vehicle. Now, whether you are using it for overlanding, camping, rock crawling, being outdoors, or heck, just enjoying the drive back and forth to work, the Jeep community is here for you. Now, it really helps if you've bought a new Jeep like this is to find a local off-road or a Jeep club that participates in local events. Whether you're in larger states, larger cities, there is normally a Jeep club near you, and whether they go off-roading all the time or they just like to meet up and have a good time with each other, you can find that sense of camaraderie and community if you've been searching for it. Now, what I'd also like to say is that this is your Jeep. So no matter what someone tells you that it's a mall crawler, that doesn't look good, this looks like crap, going back and forth with them is just not going to win either way. But remember that when you build your Jeep, when you drive it, when you enjoy it, it is absolutely yours. And here at Dirt Road CRED, we are 100% for earning yours and also making sure that you are enjoying your vehicle the way that you want it to be. Not everyone's style the same, not everyone's builds are the same, and not everyone's taste. That's why there's so many colors and options for these things. But if you find that local Jeep club, if you find a show, you will definitely find a community that matches what you are into and how you enjoy utilizing your brand new Jeep Gladiator. Now, as we just said in the beginning of this video, this is our 2025 Jeep Gladiator Dark Sky, and we plan on doing a complete build on this thing and really making it exactly the Jeep Gladiator that we envisioned it for. Now, we hope that you'll follow along with that build, and also we've got some really cool content coming out for this. Subscribe on the channel and we will have some cool content on this beautiful bright orange Jeep that we've got sitting behind us. And if you guys are already a Jeep owner and you want to welcome somebody that's new to the community, drop a comment below about maybe a point that we missed saying or something that you found helpful when you were brand new into the community. We love to interact down below in the comments, and it is a great place for someone that's new into the community to check out and start talking back and forth with the audience. Now, until next time, we're going to go enjoy this Gladiator, take it around for a bit of a drive, and then start modifying it, starting from mild to maybe wild, but we want to stay a little bit more mild with this one, and we hope you guys will follow along with that process. Until next time, my name is Matt, and Ryan's behind the camera, and we want you to get out there and earn yours.